Well, hey, everybody, coming to you with another weekly thoughts for this week. And as you remember, last week we talked a bit about the four freedoms: freedom of time, the freedom of money, the freedom of relationships, and the freedom of purpose. And today I want to dig down a little bit deeper on relationships. You know, when you boil it all down, our lives are really not about how much money we make, the house we live in, the car we drive, whatever. Our lives really, it boils down to the relationships in our lives. You know, that's such an important point, and it's something that all the other things are kind of in our face all day. We're working hard. We're doing whatever we do. We're grinding, trying to become successful in life, whatever that definition is for you. But really, ultimately, your life will be measured and remembered by the relationships that you cultivate in your life. So, why are relationships important? Well, I think that's a great question. You could probably say that relationships provide companionship, joy, satisfaction, protection. I mean, all sorts of things. But the thing to keep in mind is, as we talk about that, all those things that I just mentioned, those are benefits to us of being in a relationship, right? Well, what if we flip this idea on its head a little bit? What if we went into or pursued relationships, and instead of trying to seek what's best for us, what if we created them with the intention to benefit or bless the other person? How might the quality of your relationships change if that's what you do? Okay, if we can choose to become a person who brings our best self to every relationship we have, whether it's new ones that we're cultivating or it's ones we already have, whether it's family, business, friends, even acquaintances, wouldn't it stand to reason that those relationships will be wind up being much stronger, much closer, they would improve the ones that you have now, and they would be, they would certainly grow in in the quality and the closeness of those relationships. It seems to make sense to me. And this whole idea, what we have to understand, I don't think enough people realize this, but people are watching you every day. We watch other people watch us. It's just what we do as human beings, right? You could probably name off people right now that you respect, that you think are good people, that in whatever they do or whatever context you know them from. I'm sure you could think of people that have great qualities that actually impressed you, or maybe even caused you to think about how you might get better. You might change in that particular quality that person is showing. And this even could be somebody that you aren't in a close relationship with, but you just have, some kind of a superficial knowledge of that person. So people are watching. People see you for everything that you do, and that can be a good thing. That can be a bad thing, right? But we want it to be a good thing. And the reality is, and I think everybody would agree with this, but the reality is that there are people that have met you, that have interacted with you in some way. It may not even be a deep relationship. It just may be somebody at the grocery store that you run into, or you let them in traffic, right? It'd be the most minor things that we do that mean something to people. That person that was harried and worried and everything to get to an appointment on time, and they're worried about getting into traffic, and you slow down and you let them in. That person, whether they acknowledge it or not, whether they even really think about it or not, it was a blessing to that person, and they appreciated that. And in the same way, the things that we do with the relationships we have, the interactions that we have, they have the opportunity to make a lasting impact in that person. And I'm going to give you probably one of the best examples I've ever heard. Now, this example is from a Christian point of view, but I think you'll get the meaning of what I'm trying to say here. And I heard this, oh golly, probably in the mid to late 90s, and this has stuck with me all these years. So at our church, we had a missionary come in. And the missionary was back in the United States for a period of time. And what they do is they'll go around to different churches. They'll talk about what they're doing in the mission field, the people that they're reaching, that sort of thing. But they're also trying to raise funds to be able to go back, to have the money to go back to the mission field and continue their work. So this particular missionary was no different. That's what he was doing. He was showing us what they did and some of the people and the stories, and it was very good. But he made this comment, and it's always stuck with me. He says, I'm seeking you to help me, to partner with me, so I can go out into wherever it was that he was going, and I can reach people that would not have been reached with the gospel. And he said, and if you do that, here's what will happen. He says, I can guarantee this will happen. He says, whenever the day comes that you die and you go to heaven and you're up there, there's going to be somebody that's going to run towards you that you have never seen before. You've never met them. You don't recognize them. You have no idea who this person is. And they're going to grab you and they're going to give you the biggest bear hug you've ever had in your life. And when they finish, you're going to find out that person was somebody in this country somewhere where the gospel isn't being spread or preached. But this missionary, because you helped to fund him, that missionary went there, preached the gospel. That person got saved that may never otherwise have gotten saved. So without your financial blessing, without something that you did to help that situation, to partner in that situation, that person may have never gotten saved. So we don't know the little things that we do, the vast and great impact and influence that they can have. Again, that's from a Christian perspective. If that's not your thing, that's cool. But get the idea of that. Everything we do has consequences. There are repercussions. We can do good in the world, and we can send ripples out that will bless people, will help people, and it allows us to then enjoy those relationships. Because like we talked last week, we want to be able to be at the point where we choose the relationships in our lives. Okay. So anyway, let's just throw that out there to you, and that'll be our weekly thought for this week. We really appreciate everybody watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.